Two of the Summerfest Hockey Showcase featured great action from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. We begin with the nightcap tonight, the hosting Proctor Rails facing off against Totino Grace. The Rails grabbed a 2-1 upset win over St. Cloud Cathedral last night, but Totino Grace also made the state tournament this past season, definitely showed off their stuff. The Rails now leaning on seniors like Brecken Ross and Enzo Ramazzini. The Falcons did grab the first 2 goals of the game in that first period on the man advantage, and at last check, Totino Grace still held that 2-0 lead over the Rails. Both the Wolverines from Rock Ridge and Red Knights from Benilde St. Margaret picked up wins in yesterday's action. Rock Ridge led by former NHL Blue Liner and Virginia native Matt Niskanen. The Wolverines look to build on last year's run to their first ever section title game. Rock Ridge took the lead late 3-2 on that sick wraparound by Landon Matheson, and after the Red Knights tied it late, the game went to 3-on-3 overtime, where Benilde was able to steal the victory 4-3 in that extra frame. Our next game today could be a potential state championship game preview later this year. The Hibbing Chisholm Blue Jackets and St. Cloud Cathedral Crusaders were 2 of the Final 4 teams last year, but both fell short of that title game. Early in the first period, Hibbing getting goals off the sticks of seniors Joey Gabardi and Isaiah Hildenbrand. They took those 2 goals intermission, and then the Crusaders scored the next 9, taking the win over the Blue Jackets. Some other scores from today's action include the Duluth East Greyhounds picking up their first win of the weekend with a 9-1 victory over Cambridge Isanti. The Blue Jackets then faced the CEC Lumberjacks, with those Jacks taking the 11-2 win. All the scores and highlights from the last 2 days of great hockey action available right now on northernnewsnow.com. To the